Hello good people, hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to talk about the basic money skills you must master, especially as we begin this new year. Welcome to another episode of Live, Learn, Adventure and Charity, where we talk about finance, personal development, travel and community service. So what are the basic financial skills? This is the way you manage your money by saving, growing your money, managing your expenses, staying out of debt, and of course, making you experience the real life. So why are they important? The skills are important to ensure that you don't get yourself in money traps and the challenges that you can avoid when it comes to creating a relationship with your money. The first basic rule is saving your money. Comment down below if you have created a saving culture. And if you're struggling with the culture or ensuring that you have saved something every month, comment down below. Let us see what could be the reason. If you don't feel like you want to comment, you can take stock of your personal finances and take action by saving. The first thing to do when you're working on your savings is to create a realistic and working budget. We have already discussed the budget. You can check out the previous videos. The next thing is you calculate your saving rate. If you're saving the same amount of money you're saving last year or the other year, it means you're not improving. So it might be important for you to look into the aspects that can help you grow your saving. The next thing is create a system of paying yourself. We have said this again, and I cannot overemphasize that every time you make an earning, it is important to pay yourself first before even paying the expenses. So when you're calculating your saving, the first thing you need to do is you need to calculate how much is your net income, your expenses. Anything that is surplus, you should, or it is important to consider it as the saving. However, if you find your budget does not allow saving, you have to create it by cutting a few expenses here and there. And also we have shared tips of how to work around your budget. The next thing is after saving, that money may not be growing until you consider investing it. So it is important that you learn the investing skills. I will highlight a few things about investing. Investing is not just putting your money somewhere, but it is getting return out of your money. Remember, there are 3 levels of investment, which is high risk, medium risk, and low risk. So depending on your risk appetite, it is always important to weigh the options that you have, but it is always preferable to apportion your risk across the 3 levels. You never know. At the high risk, the problem is you might lose everything, but at the same time, the chances of gaining a lot is also there. So you can consider a portion of your investment to be high risk. And of course, the medium is less risky than the high risk. And the lowest then has no risk. But usually what happens is that the lower the risk, the lower the returns, the higher the risk, the higher the returns. And every month, it is important to just go through your investments and you just get to know and understand whether they are growing or they are stuck or you need to make adjustments. Sometimes your risk appetite could have changed even within a month. Okay, maybe perhaps you can, for purposes of whether to increase your risk or reduce your risk, you can take a quarterly check. Then you weigh your options and you see whether you're willing to increase your risk appetite or your risk appetite is too high and you may need to bring it down. Some of the ways you can improve your money skills is number 1, you become a deal hunter. Whenever you're shopping for something, I'm sure in most cases it's not a surprise or it doesn't just come up as an item every month. For instance, if you want to buy a huge electronic appliance, you have to plan for it. So in due course, you need to establish or to keep tabs with how the prices are going so that you get to the best rate. If you watched a previous video on shopping for big budget items, I shared my way of how I do it, and I'll just highlight. So first, I identify what I want. I find out how much it costs. I estimate how much changes could have happened maybe in the next maybe 6 months or 1 year, or depending on the period that I will be buying the item. So based on that, I budget. For instance, if that item is about 50,000 and I anticipate maybe by 6 months or 7 months it will be at 80 or 70, then I will budget with 70. But I will be on the lookout as to how to make a saving out of buying for it. For instance, there is Black Fridays all over throughout the year. There is a Black November. There are different shops doing clearing sales, and you can always check them out. You can check out for stores that offer such deals. There are some stores you find that if an item has stayed at the shop for more than 365 days, it automatically becomes discounted. And in most cases, even if it has lasted there 365 days, it doesn't mean that it is wearing out because it is not in use. It actually means it's still new, so you can always grab it as an offer. You can check out the stores in your area which have such offers, and you position yourself for when they have the offers. The other tip is you master some DIYs. It's not every time that you need an expert to fix maybe your car, maybe your machine, maybe your basics, maybe your electronics in the house. You can always try and do some of the things which are not risky. For instance, you can't say you're going to fix electricity for yourself and then in the process you hurt yourself. So check out for activities you can actually DIY for yourself. You can find out that, especially in these modern times, you can use Google or YouTube to be able to come up or to learn ways of fixing your items. You'll find that some of them are so basic, yet you find yourself paying someone to do it for you. The other thing, which is key, I think it should be top on the list, is learn about investing. You can save all the money that you're saving. You can find yourself managing all your expenses. You can find yourself just doing the most and doing so much, yet you're not growing your money. And in the long run, as the value of the money you have today depreciates, you need to grow it so that it can match up with the depreciation that is happening. So learn to know the different investments that you can consider. And remember, we said you can also do investments in different levels. You can have short term, that is below 1 year. You can have medium term, 2 to 5 years, and you can have long term. So depending on your target and your goals, remember we already set goals. So if you haven't set your goals yet, please, I'll link the video down below so that you can set your goals, and so that you can catch up to where we are right now. Yeah, so when you're investing, it's very important to be conscious of your investment in line with your goals, in line with your risk appetite. However, when it comes to investments, it is always advisable to get professional help. Don't think because you have been checking through all the internet and everywhere, now you have become an expert. Of course, investing is a bit sensitive because there's the risk aspect and of course the risk appetite. Therefore, you may need to be enlightened properly as to what you're getting yourself into. For instance, you may find an investment that you have to make regular payments and their consequences in case of default. And we know sometimes you don't plan to default, but it happens. So how do you address that? So it is very important to also have that one in mind. Don't just be very happy that you have discovered there's an investment somewhere that has come up, but you have not evaluated your pros and cons and what it takes. Otherwise, you're going to be disappointed and maybe you don't have time to fix it. And that's why they always say you need to start investing early so that you have space for mistakes and delays and challenges, but you still have time before your retirement to have created your own investment or your own retirement package, so to speak, because when you're investing for your future. So you're creating something to ensure that you secure your future. And of course, your future when you're not working is retirement. And we said, it's not too early to think that retirement is for the old. Retirement is for everyone, as long as you live up to the retirement age. And the earlier you prepare, the better it will be for you. So here are some highlights of what you need to do to accelerate or work on your journey. Number one, learn to say no. You can say no to going out. You can say no to impulse buying. You can say no to random expenditure that you can avoid and all that. So that is one of the key things that you need to consider anytime and every time that you're shopping. First, ask yourself, is this worth it? Is this something I can do without? Someone said, if you don't have it and you have been surviving without it, then it means you don't need it. Okay? The next thing is prioritize your needs over your wants. And when you prioritize your needs, you will be able to differentiate the needs and the wants. And when you are deciding whether to save money, you will know where to save. I mean, for needs, it might be tricky to save, but for wants, you can forgo some of the wants and you survive on what is available. So the next thing is learn to cook some basic meals. One of the biggest expenditure in any homestead, in any person's life, is food. So if you learn how to cook, you'll be saving a lot, because cooking at home is cheaper than buying one. And two, you will reduce buying from outside, and you actually, if you find yourself eating more healthy. And also you can discover how to make some of the things that you think you can only buy from outside. For instance, you can learn how to make pizza, to make lasagna, to make just those things. KFC, instead of shopping for your family out there, you make for them and it will be cheaper for you. The next thing is learn how to maintain equipment and also maintain yourself. Remember, your health is your wealth. If you're not well, you cannot even be able to make that money that you're having skills to make. Next, if you're not well, you will spend the money that you have now learned how to make. So it is important to invest in your health by eating healthy. It is also important to invest in yourself by creating a better person in yourself. And of course, the equipment that you have, ensure they're well maintained so that they don't hit you after a period with major breakdowns. For instance, if you regularly check your car, in case there are any issues, you will notice early and you'll get them fixed. But if you delay, it means it will have that problem. Then maybe that problem that has arose, then it creates another problem and it piles up. So when you're going to fix the car, it becomes just too expensive for you to fix the car. Of course, you'll have to fix it, but you would have saved yourself maybe the lump sum expenditure or the surprise when it now maybe breaks down, and that's the time you're fixing it. The next thing is you need to adjust your habits to fit your goals. If you had a habit of partying all the time and spending so much money on partying, remember we said you still have to treat yourself. It doesn't mean because you're saving or you're managing your money, now you're stuck with not being able to enjoy a night out, a getaway and all that. So it's not that you're being stingy to yourself, you're just balancing. So once you learn that, you'll be able to have some parting, and you will also have some planning for your money. The next thing, which has been a major thing in when it comes to money, is how to spot a scam. Right now, there are so many people who have been scammed through your own phone by someone you don't know. One, they call you, I don't know, someone is sick and they need medicine, and I have just sent you maybe mobile money by mistakes, please return to me. Then you find yourself, because that person has talked so passionately, you want to return the money. But when you check through your balance, the money is not there. So sometimes you find yourself, you have already returned the money and you end up losing your own money. So that is one. The other thing is they will just convince you in a way to just give them information, and they will go and borrow with your money, they will go and borrow with your phone. So it becomes very difficult. Now you have debts which you did not create yourself, but you allowed a platform and you allowed the forum. You didn't look out. Let me tell you, these guys look out for the time you least are focusing on yourself or you're focusing on your environment, and that's the time they hit. I don't know. I have been a victim one time. I was just having my Saturday morning routine and all that. Then someone called, and I don't know, I just wanted to get over with the call so that I continue doing my daily activities. But guess what? I gave them just too much information because I just wanted to get over with it. I didn't know that I'm just setting up myself. I don't know what they do or how they make you just give too much information. And the moment I finished some of the information, trust me, my SIM card had been swapped. But I clicked very fast and I realized I had given too much information, and I realized I had been scammed. So I quickly went to the service provider, and by the time I was getting there, they had tried to make calls to the service provider, and they had tried to they wanted to borrow some money, and they wanted to borrow some the usual mobile money, the several available systems of mobile money. But luckily I got there before they could get the information, because there's something they were asked and they could not disclose. For instance, your service provider can ask you the frequently called numbers. If you don't have my phone, you will not know. Or maybe the last conversation, or they ask you the last person you sent money. Even if you don't remember the last person, perhaps you can remember the amount that you did. So they will do those due diligences. But you see, if you take time, they might get someone who will also get some sort of confusion like I did. So be on the lookout. The other thing is, stop playing victim. What do I mean? Every time you're just saying, I can't afford that, I don't know. Why do you manifest for yourself the negative energy? If you cannot afford, then you have choices. It means you might not need it at that point. 1. And 2, if you cannot afford it right now, it means you can save for it in the future. It doesn't mean that it is here and now, but every time you think about the things that you want to acquire, focus and plan. Don't always say, oh, I can't afford this. You can afford something maybe you thought you wouldn't, because your financial position can change. you can improve for the better, of course, and also you can save. So learn to be content and believe in yourself and believe in chasing your goals and your dreams. Don't say anything is impossible. And of course, this comes with the feeling that you should be content with what you have. Don't cede to peer pressure. Just because my friend has this, I don't have to have it. Maybe that is within her life standards right now, but it is not within my standards right now. Not that we don't desire fine things. We all do. All of us, we have desires of those things that you would really want to have. But if you can't have it right now, be content with what you have and focus on growing yourself maybe to that thing that you really desire. There are some people who, once they desire something, they can't rest until they acquire it. So if you're that kind of person, the best thing to do is work hard until you acquire it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new, kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. If you're returning, thank you so much for always coming back to watch our videos. And if something affects you on today's topic, comment down below. I'd love to have your feedback. So that is it for today's video. See you on our next one. Bye.